How are you all? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best I'm fine I've ever heard in my life, and 1 being the worst, that, my friends, is a minus 5,000. I'll ask you again, how are you all? Good. Okay, that's good. My name is Charlie Dark, and I work in the business of communication, and I do that being a runner. And as runners, when we're out and we're going down the street, we like to nod at each other and be like, hi, how are you? And usually what happens is you get nothing back in return. Because essentially, running sucks. It's hard, man. You go out running, you got to sweat, you come home, you smell. You end up with a wardrobe full of Lycra. And actually, at the end of the day, what is the point, particularly in a society where time is such a commodity, why would you take 2 hours to run somewhere when you could drive it in half an hour? Like, why would you do that? And also, another thing where people don't like running is because it's like punishment. It reminds you of being vulnerable and being at school. You're being shouted at by fat men in tracksuits with clipboards and voices of resentment, you know. And the thing about running, which is so weird, is it's such an essential part of our physical makeup. We run for food, we run away from danger, we run towards the ones we love, and we run for survival. Like, people, we need running in our lives. But the problem is, as we get older, what happens is we start to fall out of love with the simple and very beautiful thing of just putting one foot in front of the other and traveling a distance. It's weird. It's kind of like, if anyone here has children, I've got an 8-year-old son. For the moment that boy wakes up to the moment he goes to sleep, his whole day is dedicated to exploring what his body can do. I'm going to climb on the sofa. I'm going to jump off and see what happens. I'm just going to run across the front room. I'm just going to run through the garden. I'm going to fall over. I'm going to get up, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to put my leg out like this. I'm going to try and put my leg behind my ear. Why? Because it's cool. It's this amazing thing that I've got, and I'm just discovering about it. And then what happens is we send them to school, and then we go to PE lessons, and then basically what happens is we get older, and it becomes a bit of a chore, and we fall out of love of it because actually it becomes more hard. And as adults, we don't really like doing things that are hard. But the thing is this, running is actually quite good for you. It's good for your mind. It's good for your body. It requires no equipment whatsoever. It's cheap. It can be free. And these are kind of things that I think to myself, why aren't more young people running? Like, why are we not encouraging more young people to run? Why are we waiting till they get to 30 and they basically are standing in front of the mirror saying, can't see my feet anymore? And then we think, you know what, I'm going to get fit. And that's when we start getting them to run. You know why I kind of come to this conclusion? Because in some ways, running reminds you a bit of life. You know, it's kind of like, life has got this thing where basically it's like, you know, the faster you go, the better runner you are. The more money you have, the better, more valuable a person to society you are. The bigger your house, the more expensive your car, the more material things you have in your life, the better the person you are. So what happens is when we go out to run, we just want to get there, open up the front door, put our shoes on, and fly like Usain Bolt. And it very rarely ever happens. This picture's of me in former days. It's kind of DJ life. It's kind of like 2006, maybe 2007. You know, I'm kind of feeling a bit low in life. I've got all the trappings of the fast life that they've told me I should have. So I've got the cars, the BMWs are there, I've got the houses, I'm hanging out with the fly girls, I'm traveling all around the world, I'm DJing. It's like, my life is actually everything that I've ever wanted it to be, but I'm waking up and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm thinking 2 things. 1, I've got a caterpillar underneath my nose. Secondly, actually, the sparkle in my eye is gone. I've got all this stuff around me, but actually I'm not smiling internally. But really, the thing that's really bugging me is I'm a DJ that's come from music culture, and the music industry is changing. And because the music industry is changing, what's happened is the only way you can really make money is by traveling now. So what I do is I spend my time chasing my friends from DJ box to DJ box. The community that we'd grown up in, going to kind of jungle and drum and bass raves and going to hip-hop raves, is now falling apart. It's become international. And if you're not one of the top 10, if you're not in the top 20, if you're not in the 50 DJ Mag list, then basically you're no longer invited to the party. And then what happens, your friends are starting to get ill because it's unhealthy being a musician. It's actually unhealthy to be in a club playing with that amount of people who are there for a really hedonistic time, who are looking at you thinking, you are responsible for my happiness for the next 3 hours. And meanwhile, what we're going to do is we're going to turn the sound up really loud so we can't really hear any conversation. And then basically, that's going to be your working environment. And you're going to do that from the age of 13 right the way up to the age of 34. That's going to be your job. My community is falling apart. So what I decided to do, I think to myself, I've got 400 pairs of trainers in the house. I'm just going to pick a pair. I'm going to go outside, and I'm going to start running. And I fall in love with it. I mean, it's hard at first, but I'm kind of getting into this thing of, like, I'm discovering London in a new light. There's a new kind of nocturnal activity that I'm part of. It's underground. Not really many people are doing it. It feels fresh. It feels exciting. I'm meeting all these new characters, new smells, new lights. I'm falling back in love with my city again, and that's important to me because I'm a son of London. London made me the person who I am. London is a culture. It's a melting pot. It's a sponge. It absorbs culture from all around the world, and it tears it up, and it remixes, and then it spits it back out. That's what makes it wonderful. That's why so many amazing things come from this place. I then decided that, you know, this running thing's really cool. I kind of like my body's changing. I'm getting a bit of muscles now. Like my daddy belly's on its way out. It's kind of, girls are looking at me in a different way. It's like, yeah, this is kind of cool. You know what I need to do? I need to start sharing this with all my unhealthy friends. That's what I need to do. So I form a crew. Note, I say crew, not club. Okay, I'm going against the norm. I don't want to be traditional. And I try and find the most unconventional name I can find. So when you're going through and you're being, it's like the South London Harriers and the East London Flyers, Run Dem Crew. What on earth is that? Okay. I always say this thing, when you're forming communities, the name is really important, particularly when you're trying to attract people who are difficult to engage. So my message to people is this: if you're trying to engage young people in sport, don't call it the young person's fitness program, because they ain't going to go. It's not happening. All right. So a couple of things. We need the strong name to distinguish it from the old. And then we need basically people we can trust. So I get 5 of my friends. I get a photographer because I understand that basically I need to document this process. I find one of my friends who's a DJ, like, we need you because we're going to need a soundtrack. Because my thing is this: in the rest of my life, I'm into music, I'm into fashion, I'm into all this other stuff, I'm into culture. But apparently when I'm into fitness, I have to stop my life and then be fit and then basically pack all that stuff away and then go back to my life. At no point in my fitness career, from the age of when I first started going to school, I was really failing in my classes, and basically they were like, look, you're quite quick, so we're going to keep you in the school anyway. Did anyone ever say to me, if you excel in your fitness career, that will also benefit what's happening in the classroom? No one made that connection for me. And people rarely do that with young people. It's kind of like, you're failing, go and run around the field a few times. Come on the football team. So basically, what I find myself is we need something that's sustainable. We need to incubate it. In fact, what we need to do is to hide this new community from the world. Because we live in an age now where people are very instant. It's like, I had this idea, and now I need to show it and share it with as many people as possible. No, my friends. What you do is you do the idea, and you basically hide it for as long as you possibly can, just to see if it really works. And that's a very old school kind of value. And then actually, it doesn't have to be ta-da straight away. It can just be like that straight away, like a little seed. You water it a little bit every day, and then you watch the idea grow. So here we are, my 5 friends who are running 1 mile to Victoria Park on a Friday night and posting it on Facebook and being very proud of this. Grows from 5 to 55, from 55 to 100 to 100 to 150 to 250 and beyond. It kind of becomes this massive, great big kind of vehicle that's moving forward, and we're connecting all these people who've never really thought about being fit before, but they're basically coming together because there's a translator. You need translators when you're making communities. You need to translate the idea into a language that people understand. Otherwise, it's just being like talked to by your headmaster. It's a bit boring. So, as you see here, we have a large amount of people gathered in one room. Young people like to gather in packs. It makes them feel safe. And one of the most important things I realized at this time is running is the least important part of what I do. It's not about the running at all. It's about community and it's about family. We always say at Run Dem, it's about community and family first. This situation is like a dining table for people who live in flats that are too small. Because many of the young people that I work with, actually, they've never actually sat down and had a communal meal with their family. Their communal meal is the chicken and chips that they eat on the way home from school. So they need communities and new types of communities. And also what a community does is it gives you the chance to network with people who normally would ignore you or shun you. You see 20 kids in hoodies running down the road, you're crossing over and clutching your handbag. They run past you in vests and short shorts, you might stop and start applauding, be like, yeah, that's really wicked. So once you've got this, you've got your community, you've got the thing, what happens to the people who basically actually really want to be involved, but they're never going to run? They're never going to really sell into the idea. If you do not run, my friends, then you must cheer. You've got to connect some access points. That's what you've got to do. So basically what you do is you take the London Marathon and you go to mile 21 and you bring your sound system and you bring your food trucks and you tell out your people, you say, listen, we're going to be here, come down. Because I know this. When the London Marathon rolls around, it's the only time that London comes out to celebrate and basically encourage strangers to be great, to achieve the impossible. It happens then, and it happens maybe around Notting Hill Carnival time. It's two of the same things. So London Marathon would come out, because I think it's really important for you to watch the very first wheelchair runner to the wheelchair athlete to the elite runner, right the way to the man who's at the very back of the crowd with the fridge on his back. Because that's a bit like life, you know what I mean? There's all different types of people who are kind of plugging in. And the most important thing that you then tell young people is running. It's not a test. It's a celebration of how far you've come. It's a celebration of being alive. That's what it's about. Well, eventually what happens is you then start accumulating a large amount of medals. We all love medals. We walk into the office, I ran the London Marathon in 4 hours. I ran the London Marathon in 3.5 hours. I ran the London Marathon in 3 hours 15. Now, my thing is this. You have medals and you have times. And it's an amazing thing, because I say this to young people all the time, like, look, I don't have a celebrity trainer, but my marathon time is faster than Puff Daddy's and Oprah's. So that's quite good. Once you have the medals, then basically what you must do, you must think global, not local. You must help young people to realize we cannot be confined by our postcodes, okay? We need to get out there and use social media to actually be social. We need to actually connect with other young people around the world who basically are going through similar things. This is me in Shanghai, about to run the Shanghai Marathon, being watched by the police. But I'm from South London. And as far as my headmaster was concerned, I was never supposed to actually leave SC15, let alone get on the plane and travel somewhere to go and run 26 miles. Or you know what I definitely wasn't supposed to do is basically to take this little idea of the 5 friends on a Friday night and turn it into a global movement and allow young people to travel to different places around the world and meet different people. We have crews now in Paris, in Amsterdam, in Hong Kong, in China. It's all over. It's just like this massive, great big phenomenon that we know about and not many other people do. And that is actually okay. One of the things about taking your idea global is that actually then you add a soundtrack to it. You add a culture to it. Because the thing about this, if you think about sport, if you take away the soundtrack, it's just a game. Once you add commentary, you add the kind of music, you add the lights, and you add the other stuff that goes around it, suddenly it becomes a lifestyle. When you get young people into something, make it a lifestyle. Don't just make it a thing. A thing is boring. So basically, this is the thing that I think that basically running brings to young people's lives and why it's important to encourage everyone in this room, particularly young people in our community, to get up and start moving. A marathon structure, training for a marathon brings structure to a young person's life. And there's something really empowering about meeting a young person who basically has the ability to run 26 miles. They can run a distance they've only traveled by bus or by car. They can do that. It teaches people to be the best that they can be, to walk until they're stopped. You keep walking until the velvet rope stops you. The road does not care whether you're CEO, drug dealer, bad boy on the street. Doesn't care how much money you have in your bank account, what car you drive, whether you live in Hampstead, whether you live in Peckham, wherever you live. The road just says to you this: are you ready? You prepare, you turn up, you execute. I think that's a really good skill for young people to have. I would say that basically running has taught myself and the people that I try and share that with to go hard or go home. If you're not going to do the thing to 100%, 10% of your ability, then don't bother. Just don't do it. Allow someone else to do it. That would mean that there's less rubbish things in the world. Secondly, you live in London. We don't live in London. We own London. I don't run. On my arm it says, I do not run. I push the earth down with my feet and I leave my footprints in the concrete behind me. I want young people to basically feel that they own this city, not they're just like ants just mindlessly moving from place to place. We've got to explore. It cannot be defined by postcode, by colour of skin, by religion, by the place that you live. And lastly, we've got to help each other a bit more. It's okay to cry. It's okay to hug. It's okay to love. It's okay to kiss. It's okay to show that you care about your fellow community members. This is my last slide, but one. We have here one of the fastest guys in our crew. Goes out to try and qualify for the Boston Marathon. It's the only marathon in the world. You cannot buy a place. You have to run a qualifying time. You've got to be quick. He's there. He's on point. He's brilliant. He's been training for it for 12 months. Gets into the last 2 miles and he sees someone on the side of the road in real pain. He stops himself and thinks, you know what? I'll qualify for Boston next year. The most important thing for me now is to make sure that this guy gets home, that he has a moment where he can also be the best that he can be. He needs my help. We ended with this, the crew, Greenwich Park, overlooking the city, just vibing and soaking in this amazing place that you see through this window. And lastly, the thing is this, when you create safe communities around the unknown, it allows people who you really want to engage with to try something new. So we started with running, and now we're swimming, we're doing yoga, we're stretching, we're lifting, because we understand this thing. The most valuable thing that we have, all of us in this room, is not what's in our pockets. It's actually the thing that we came in, not the car, but the body. Because health is wealth. And surely you want to protect this amazing, super intelligent brain, and you want to wrap it up in the best, strongest parcel that you possibly could ever make. My name is Charlie Dark, and I transform people, and I make communities, and I transform bus stops into cheering stations. And essentially, what I do is I'm the founder of Run Dem Crew. I'm passionate about life. I'm passionate about moving. And I came here today to share that with you. Thank you very much.